second. And Olga, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Larissa, and very welcome also from my side. My name is Olga Dolinskaja, Product Manager for ABAP platform. And in today's session, in the series of Move to Cloud ERP webcasts, I will guide you through the process of your custom code analysis and adaptation during conversion to S/4HANA. So let's take a short look at the agenda. First, I will start with the short motivation. What is the challenge for your custom code during system conversion to S/4HANA? Then we will take a look at the custom code adaptation process in detail, at all of the steps and all the tools which accompany you during your custom code analysis and adaptation on your way to the new S/4HANA system. And in the end, there is a summary and many links, and you will also have the possibility to ask your questions. So let's start with the challenge for your custom code. First, S/4HANA, as you already know, is the digital cornerstone of the cloud ERP itself. It comes along with the new application programming and new architecture and data models, is fully optimized for SAP HANA database, brings new theory-based user experience, and is available on cloud and on premise with these deployments models. The very important is that S/4HANA is completely new product family, absolutely separated from the traditional SAP Business Suite. And the good thing is, if you convert your existing system to the S/4HANA, you can also take over your custom code from the existing SAP Business Suite system and adapt it there. What is the challenge for your custom code during S/4HANA system conversion? On the left-hand side, you see your traditional SAP Business Suite system. And since years, you have, as SAP customer or partner, developed your ABAP custom code directly in this SAP Business Suite system. This custom code was developed in a very flexible manner, meaning that you were always able to use everything from the system what is there. So any function module, any data type, and so on was used by you. And the custom code which was developed in this manner is very titled with SAP standard code. It was very actually flexible approach, since you were able always to use everything what was in the system. But on the other side, if you step into the new S/4HANA world, you will get some problems with your custom code during system conversion to S/4HANA. During traditional business suite upgrades, we have always guaranteed that your custom code is compatible to the new business suite software, but it's not the case with the S/4HANA, because in S/4HANA we have simplified a lot of logic, and in some cases we have made the changes in the not compatible way. And therefore, if you just take over your existing custom code to the new S/4HANA system, you will detect that some of the custom code objects will not function properly as before in the business suite environment. It means that either they bring runtime errors, or they have syntax errors, or you will see just empty database tables on the screen, and so on. Of course, we have tried to keep the SAP compatibility as far as possible. Therefore, you can expect that there will be also custom code objects which will work as before, these green ones on the right-hand side of this slide. But of course, as I already said, there will be also red objects which will not run properly. And it's clear that such custom code objects must be adapted to the new S/4HANA software. Luckily, we have not only simplified S/4HANA software, but we also have written down every simplification In so-called simplification database, every change in S/4HANA standard software is captured there as so-called simplification item, which describes how the standard SAP object was changed and also provides the guidance for you as a customer or partner, how your custom code, which is working with these SAP standard objects, can be adapted based on the simplification information. And we provide the tools which, based on the information from the simplification database, are capable to analyze your ABAP custom code and provide the issues, the information about the issues which need to be adapted for S/4HANA. The technical infrastructure for all custom code analysis activities is remote ABAP test cockpit, starting with NetWeaver 752. We providing ABAP test cockpit, which is our central tool for statistical quality assurance of ABAP code. We provide it as a hub solution, which can be placed into your landscape, connected via RFC to your development system, and is capable to check centrally your development systems within US ABAP test cockpit checks provided also centrally. And this infrastructure can make use of the simplification database, which can be uploaded there, and based on this information, can check your code also for S/4HANA readiness. So this infrastructure is essential for the analysis of your code for S/4HANA readiness. We recommend to execute the custom code analysis using the custom code migration app, which is Fiori-based app, which is provided on top of the ABAP test cockpit infrastructure, central ABAP test cockpit system. This infrastructure can be set up either on-premise using S/4HANA system or on BTP using SAP BTP ABAP environment. The app is running on top of central ABAP test cockpit and is capable to analyze your code also for S/4HANA readiness. The advantage with regard to the traditional ABAP test cockpit is that you can also, if you use the app, consider the collected usage data for your custom code. You can get the help from the app how to identify the candidates in the custom code for various redesign activities, and you can also get the help information about which custom code objects can be adapted in automated way using so-called ABAP quick fixes in ABAP development tools for Eclipse. The app comes along with the two main features, scoping and analysis. During scoping, you decide which custom code can be scoped for S/4HANA for the transition to S/4HANA, and the analysis lets you to analyze your custom code for S/4HANA readiness. During custom code analysis, the so-called S/4HANA readiness checks get executed over your custom code, which contain the checks which belong to two main categories. First, of course, S/4HANA readiness checks, which can be run on your custom code and which check the compatibility of your custom code objects with the new S/4HANA software, which cover so-called simplification use cases and detect the issues where your custom code is using functionality which is not available anymore in S/4HANA, or detect the data model changes or data type changes and so on. And the S/4HANA readiness checks execute also SAP HANA checks for the cases if you're moving your business suite system on any DB first to SAP HANA database with S/4HANA, then of course SAP HANA checks must be also run on your custom code. And this check detects if your custom code uses the database vendor specifics like native SQL, detects the usage of database operations on pool and cluster tables in your custom code because these operations were removed in S/4HANA, and also detect if your custom code uses select or open cursor statements without order by. How does the custom code adaptation process looks like? Here on the slide, you see the traditional S/4HANA system conversion process, which consists of preparation phase and realization phase. And you see the main steps there which are relevant for the system conversion, like checking system requirements, like executing maintenance planner, running simplification items checks, and so on. But we focus now on the custom code relevant process, which consists also of the preparation phase and realization phase. During preparation, the first step on the way to custom code transition to S/4HANA is to do so-called custom code scoping and decide which amount of custom code should be taken over to the new S/4HANA system. Then the analysis can be run with S/4HANA readiness checks to detect the S/4HANA relevant issues in your custom code. And after the system conversion, after the software update manager has installed the new S/4HANA system software, you can adapt your code for S/4HANA, meaning you do functional adaptation, and in the end, you can optimize your custom code for S/4HANA, do some performance tuning, eliminate performance intensive SQLs, and so on. So this is how the custom code related process during S/4HANA system conversion looks like, and we will take a look at each step of this process in detail. By the way, the process of the custom code adaptation and analysis is also very well described in SAP community, and here you have the corresponding link. Let's start with the custom code scoping. It begins with the usage data collection. We have found out that in productive customer landscapes, about 30% or even up to the 60% of the custom code is not productively used. It means if you take over this custom code to the new S/4HANA system and just adapt it, you will get a lot of effort for this, and it's not actually necessary, because if you don't use, if you haven't used this custom code since years, then it's probably the right point of time, this system conversion, to get rid of the unused code. Therefore, our recommendation is to start to collect the usage data at least 1 year or even 1.5 years before your actual S/4HANA system conversion project for your custom code. And recommend such a long time frame for user data collection in order to let you to collect the representative results for your custom code usage in your productive environment. For the usage data collection, we recommend using ABAP call monitor, the transaction SCMON, which can be executed directly on your ERP productive system, and the transaction SUCG, which can be executed together with SCMON, is capable to aggregate the collected usage data in your productive system in order not to overload the database of the system with the usage data, and store the aggregated usage data there. After you have collected the usage data and you start your system conversion project, you can use custom code migration app and upload your collected usage data there. The app will define the initial custom code scope for the transition to S/4HANA based on this uploaded usage data. And of course, you can anytime adjust this scope manually, meaning you can add or remove the objects to the scope from the scope and so on. We recommend to create the deletion transport for unused code in the custom code migration app, and this deletion transport can be added to the software update manager during the system conversion, and the software update manager then it can then remove unused code from the system. If you don't want to remove the unused code because you think probably you can make use of this custom code at some later point of time, we suggest SAP-based CTS solution, because S/4HANA supports Git-enabled change transport management system, and therefore we recommend to keep this deletion transport on the system, convert your existing system to the S/4HANA, and after the system conversion, use JCTS to export the unused code from the system, remove it there, and keep the unused code in so-called external Git repository. So if you at some point of time need it again, you can use again JCTS and import the code from the external Git repository back to the S/4HANA system. And here you see also the link how to do the custom code backup for unused code using JCTS. During the execution of the scoping in the custom code migration app, we also recommend to use so-called complexity dashboards, which is also provided in the custom code migration app. Using this complexity dashboard, you can identify which custom code developments are really complex, because if you just take them over to this S/4HANA, they require high maintenance efforts and also cause high maintenance costs. And therefore, in order to save your adaptation efforts, we recommend to detect these complex custom code developments using the custom code migration app complexity dashboard, and then to make a decision how to proceed with them. Probably this business logic is not required anymore, or is already available in S/4HANA, or is available as a partner solution, for example. And you can try to get rid of this complex development, and you can rebuild it probably using the modern extensibility approaches in ABAP, like key user extensibility or side-by-side extensibility, and so on. After the custom code scoping, the custom code analysis get executed on your ERP system by the custom code migration app in ideal case, and the S/4HANA readiness checks get executed over your custom code. And there you will get the analysis results, which findings you need to take care of after the system conversion. And you can use different filters in order to group the findings. You can focus, for example, on the findings in your used custom code. You can display detailed analysis of each finding. And of course, it's also possible to download the analysis results in the format which is suitable for the upload to SAP readiness check, in order to get there also representative picture of the custom code. So here you see at one glance on this slide all the custom code analysis options. You can still use remote ABAP test cockpit as a hub solution and use SAP GUI based on ABAP test cockpit check systems SAP Basis 752. You can execute S/4HANA readiness checks on your custom code. You get all the simplification information in your findings results, but it will not be possible to display which findings can be fixed in automated way using so-called quick fixes in ABAP development tools for Eclipse. And it's not possible to consider the usage data, and it's not possible to remove the unused code. All these deficiencies you will not get if you use the custom code migration app. Either you use it using the S/4HANA system on premise, or you can use it on SAP BTP ABAP environment, where the custom code migration app can be set up directly using the Cloud Integration Automation Service, so CS. And in this case, the custom code migration app will check your custom code via RFC and Cloud Connector, connect to your on-premise system and check your code for S/4HANA readiness. Okay, before we jump into the functional adaptation, I will show you now a short demo how the custom code migration app works. So I need to go to the system. And in my case, custom code migration app is provided on SAP BTP ABAP environment. So I'm here with Fiori Launchpad and see the style here, custom code migration, and can just start it. So you would proceed as following. You would create a S/4HANA migration project for analysis of your custom code. Now this custom code migration app is running SAP BTP ABAP environment and is connected to the on-premise ERP system, which needs to be analyzed. So here you would need to provide the project description and target release, to which S/4HANA release you would like to go with your custom code. And also transition scenario. Actually, we support both system conversion, and also you can selectively bring some custom code to the new greenfield S/4HANA system as well. Therefore, this second project type, new implementation, is also provided here. And here you provide the location of your custom code and remote system. And here you would need to select the connection to this remote system. And in this area below, you can upload usage data. After you have proceeded so, you press just create button and the project gets created. The initial scoping will be done based on uploaded usage data, and the app will start to analyze your custom code in the system for S/4HANA readiness. It will take some time, therefore I've just discard this draft and I will show you the project which I have prepared beforehand. This is this one. This project type is S/4HANA migration, and the target release is S/4HANA 2023. Transition scenario is system conversion. And here you see the initial scoping was done based on the uploaded usage data. The usage data was collected by ABAP Call Monitor. And here you see the number of the analysis results in your custom code. So you can just go to the scope, and here you see the graphical representation of the scope based on which objects are in scope, by usage data, which objects are in scope because they are statically referenced by the objects which are in scope, and so on. And here you can just press the change scope button and you will see all the packages of the system with custom code which have been analyzed, and you can proceed with manual scoping. For example, you can just try to take over some packages into the scope which are not in scope by usage data because, for example, they are new implementations, and for these new implementations, the usage data is not available. And then you can just select this package and add here the package to the scope. Or if some packages should not be taken over, you can just select this package here and say, okay, remove this package from the scope, and so on. So you can here proceed with the scoping. Under the packages, you have the view on the complexity dashboard, and you can here just apply the complexity dashboard in order to support your complex custom code developments, as I already told you. And here, if you go back, after you are finished the scoping, you can use this button, create deletion transport, and deletion transport will be created directly on the ERP system. So, and if you don't add it to the software update manager, it will not be deleted from the system. It just remains in the transport request, the whole custom code, which is not used and which is captured there. Let's go to the analysis results. So just click on the number of the findings, and you see here the graphical representation of the findings. The table with the findings below is the table which you also get in the ABAP Test Cockpit GUI transaction if you use ABAP Test Cockpit as a central check system. And here in the here in the upper area, you have different filters. You can go, for example, to compact filters and just quickly filter your findings. For example, I'm interested in all the findings which has to deal with the call to the tables. So I will get all the findings here which have to deal with the call of the tables. Or, for example, I'm interested in all the findings which call the table BCG. I will just pick up the BCG as object name here and get all the findings in my custom code which relate to the usage of the BCG table. Or, for example, if I'm interested in the findings in one special package here, I can just pick up the package name here and we'll get the findings which are in this custom code package. So this is the how compact filters work. And here you have the visual filters. Here, for example, in the middle area, you can filter the findings by different node numbers. For example, if I'm interested how many findings I have in the top simplification nodes, I will just select here the largest bars and I will get the findings which are related to these top simplification nodes in my custom code. Or here in this upper area, I can apply visual filters. For example, I am interested only in the findings which are in the used custom code. So for sure, this custom code will be transmitted to the S/4HANA. And I'm interested also in the findings for which no quick fixes are available. So these findings I would need to fix manually. And I get only this small list of the findings. And here in this table below, you see the finding, which priority it has, how the check title of the finding looks like, which is the check message, which custom code object was checked, and which simplification category was touched, the corresponding SAP node number, which allows you to fix the finding, if quick fixes are available, and so on and so forth. And here I can just navigate to the details of the finding. And this finding, which says me, for example, that it occurs in the object name, this one, that S/4HANA dashboard SAP transaction. And the problem is here, the functionality is used, which is not available anymore in S/4HANA. I can even navigate to the source code, which will be displayed in the browser. And what I see here, this program is calling the transaction MB11. And as it looks like this transaction is not available in S/4HANA, and I need to replace the call through the call to different transaction. And how to do this? I have here the link to the corresponding SAP node number, which can be consulted and which will help me how to fix this finding. So you have here all the details of the finding. Here in the upper area, you have finding information, which problem is here, the object type transaction is called, and the finding category, how the transaction is called, which is named, which is called, this is in B11, and so on. So you have here all the details. And as I already said, you can also download the whole findings list either as Excel, here export as Excel table, or export in the format which is suitable to for the download to the SAP readiness check. So this was just the short overview how the custom code migration app can be used for the scoping and custom code analysis of your code. And now back to the slides. After you have run the software update manager to install the new S/4HANA software to convert your existing system to S/4HANA, it's time to do the functional adaptation of your custom code. And the tool of choice for the custom code adaptation is ABAP development tools for Eclipse. The ABAP Test Cockpit is tightly integrated into ABAP development tools for Eclipse. You can just execute ABAP Test Cockpit run from the context menu of ABAP development tools for Eclipse using the S/4HANA readiness check variant again, but now locally on the new converted S/4HANA system. And this ABAP Test Cockpit run is actually the basis for the custom code adaptation on the new S/4HANA system. So you execute ABAP Test Cockpit run, and then you will get the findings which can be adapted manually, or you can also benefit from using the quick fixes. We provide the quick fixes for typical simplification use cases like missing the order by and selects in your custom code, or for material and amount field length extension in S/4HANA, or different data model changes and so on. And the quick fixes can be executed one by one, or you can benefit from using the mass-enabled quick fixes in order to fix all the findings at one shot. If you use the quick fixes for the typical simplification use cases, you can expect up to 60% of the automation rate, but only, as I said, for the typical simplification use cases. And let's take a look at the short demo, how it would look like to adapt your custom code for S/4HANA. Here I have a package on my new S/4HANA system, package with the custom code objects, and I would like to benefit from the quick fixes and adapt my custom code. Therefore, I need to check the custom code for S/4HANA readiness. I will run S/4HANA readiness checks for the 2023 release, because my system is on the 2023 release. And I will run ABAP test cockpit with S/4HANA readiness checks over this package with the custom code objects, because, as I already said, the initial ABAP test cockpit run over your custom code with S/4HANA readiness checks is the foundation for using quick fixes for the custom code adaptation. And here you will get the findings in your custom code, and this is the same table which you get also in the custom code migration app. So you have the finding, which error has occurred, which custom code object was checked, what is the problem here. You see also here on the right hand side the details of the analysis here, which SAP node number should be used to fix the findings, which custom code objects problem occurs here. For example, here the conf table is referenced, which is not available anymore in S/4HANA, and so on, and you can fix it. And here, this yellow bulb, light bulb, signalizes that for these findings, quick fixes is available. So if I just step, for example, to the code with such a finding, I can apply the quick fix. Here, I will just go to the source code line, and I can use a Control-1 shortcut in order to apply a single quick fix. But I don't want to apply the quick fixes one by one. I want to benefit from the mass-enabled quick fixes, and therefore I can select the whole list with the findings and use the recommended quick fixes wizard in order to adapt the whole findings at one shot. And you see here, the wizard says me that the majority of the findings can be fixed using the quick fixes. Here you see the findings list. And for each finding, you see in which custom code objects this finding takes place. And here you can also select the post-processing steps, what you would like to do after the adaptation using the findings. If you want to activate the change objects and do recheck with ATC and so on. So I just go to the next button. I need to choose the transport here, next. And here in the wizard, you see for each custom code objects how the original source code looks like on the left-hand side, and how the source code would look like after applying the quick fix. Here, for example, select from the conf table, and as I already said, the conf table was removed in S/4HANA. Instead of this, the other table must be used, and access to this table must be done through the CDS view. And here, this is how it can be fixed. Here, for example, we see also the number in SD simplifications, like the status fields were taken off the table VBAC and distributed over other tables like VBAC, LIKP, and so on. So you see all the quick fixes proposals. You can look at them, and if you agree to the quick fixes proposal, you would press the finish button, and as we have chosen the post-processing step, then the ABAP test cockpit will adjust your code to S/4HANA using the quick fixes, and will again execute the ABAP test cockpit run. So this is just in a nutshell how the quick fixes work. And after you have adapted your code to the S/4HANA, you are now already at the end of the custom code adaptation process, and you can do some custom code optimization steps. So just think about S/4HANA. With S/4HANA, you get not only the new applications, you get also the new technology stacks. And you have the SAP HANA database in place, so it is recommended that you do some code push down, and you do the performance tuning for your performance intensive SQLs and tune them for the execution on HANA database. Also, you can make use of embedded analytics, for example, and execute reporting directly on your transactional data integrated in the system. And for the future, you can also use modern ABAP language and released APIs in order to make your custom code stable for upgrades. And you can also rebuild your code using the new ABAP RESTful application programming model and Fiori apps from the traditional GUI up to the new world of Fiori UI and RESTful application programming. Also, the next step would be to go into the direction of the clean core and apply such basic clean core principles like decouple your logic from the SAP standard. You get rid of modification where possible. If you haven't done before system conversion, then at least after the system conversion, you need to take care of it and use ABAP Cloud development model. We provide ABAP Cloud development model to build cloud-ready business app services on extension. ABAP Cloud is nothing new. This is actually, we have invested into ABAP Cloud development principles since years. In the first product which has delivered ABAP Cloud was ABAP BTP ABAP environment. And ABAP Cloud comes with public SAP APIs and extension points, cloud optimized ABAP language, and as development environment, you use ABAP development tools in Eclipse. As programming environment, you use ABAP RESTful application programming model. And for the database accesses and consumption, you use ABAP Core Data Services. You can program with ABAP Cloud either directly on stack in your S/4HANA system, be it on-premise solution or private cloud. And in the S/4HANA public cloud, ABAP Cloud development model is set by default. And you can also program with ABAP Cloud side by side on SAP BTP ABAP environment. So ABAP Cloud is one development model which is provided across all solutions in S/4HANA public cloud and SAP BTP ABAP environment. It's available by default. For programming S/4HANA public cloud, you need 3-tier landscape for development with ABAP Cloud, and you can also use it in S/4HANA on-premise and S/4HANA Cloud private edition in order to bring your system closer to clean core, to upgrade stability, and so on. So the recommendations for custom code optimizations: first, optimize it for SAP HANA database. Use the SQL monitor in order to find your performance critical SQLs. And then you can rebuild them using ABAP CDS, ABAP Managed Database Procedures, ABAP SQL. You can modernize your code for further optimization using Fiori UI and ABAP RESTful application programming model. And the next step would be to adapt your existing code for ABAP Cloud and make it upgrade stable. And here you have some links which you can use for your convenience, how to proceed further for clean core with ABAP Cloud. Okay, takeaways for you. The custom code adaptation and analysis is necessary for S4HANA. We recommend to start your S4HANA journey today and switch on the usage analysis using the ABAP call monitor and SUCG transaction. The ABAP test cockpit is the technical infrastructure for all kinds of custom code analysis and static checks on your code. And we recommend to execute custom code analysis for S4HANA using the custom code migration app. And for the adaptation of your code directly on the S4HANA system, you have ABAP development tools for Eclipse, and you have the quick fixes. And further on, after adaptation, you can optimize your custom code using performance tuning, code push-down techniques, and ABAP cloud development model. More information is provided in ABAP testing and analysis community, so you will get all the information there. How to get started with the custom code migration app? We provide the dedicated mission in SAP Discovery Center, where the custom code migration app can be set up in the BTP ABAP environment automatically, and your on-premise system can be prepared for the remote analysis also automatically using the cloud integration automation service. And then you can use the custom code migration app in a guided procedure manner in order to check your custom code for S4HANA readiness. And here, at one glance, more information which is provided in the ABAP testing analysis community. There you will find different areas which you can use for different topics of the custom code analysis, like custom code analysis for S4HANA or for ABAP Cloud, and so on. Okay, having said that, I thank you very much for your attention, and I will just stop sharing and hand over back to Larissa, and we will see if we have any questions in the chat, or which I can answer right now.
Right. We have a lot of questions in Q&A tool, and we will move there, and all the applause that you can see on the screen goes to you, Olga.
Thank you very much.
So
very appreciated.
Okay. You have access of Q&A tool. I will just go through the questions unless you want to interrupt me. The first question is, as per clean core principle, how we are determining which ABAP code can be moved, refactored for BTP ABAP? Will custom code migration app help? What are the criteria?
Yes, I would recommend and also have this link in my slides to take a look at the extensibility guide, where we have recommendation about which code can be developed, should be developed with BTP ABAP environment, and also for the regarding the custom code migration to BTP ABAP environment. Just think about it would make sense to move the loosely coupled ABAP solution, which is not tightly coupled with the logic of S4HANA software to BTP ABAP environment. And so it's not only the matter of the tool which custom code can be chosen, but you will get some support in the custom code migration app as well. You can analyze your custom code for BTP ABAP environment. There is dedicated project type there as well. And we have also the dependency analysis provided in the custom code migration app, which can help you to detect which custom code is tightly coupled with SAP standard, which not, and the code is which not tightly coupled to SAP with SAP standard is surely a good candidate for the movement to a BTP ABAP environment. Just check out the ABAP testing analysis community and dedicated blogs for the migration to BTP ABAP environment.
Right, thank you for that. The next question, if there a document that states all the different types of ATC error messages and their possible adaptations?
No, there is not such documents, and what you will get there, You will get a ATC error message for S4HANA and for this special use case for custom code analysis for S4HANA. And you will get also the proposal for every ATC area directly in the ATC result, which simplification item can be used in order to fix this error. So we'll get this information from the dedicated simplification item.
Right, thank you for that. The next one, custom code adaptation should be done after the system has converted into S4HANA, or it can be done in ECC before conversion. While converting ECC from other DB, we have adapted the code before we migrate to HANA.
Custom code adaptation should be done after the system conversion. Of course, if you are with your business suite system already on SAP HANA database, you can start adapting your code to HANA database, but you would need to do it manually. And on S4HANA, you can do custom code adaptation to HANA database using the quick fixes. So it's just quicker approach if you do it afterwards.
Right, thank you for that. The next one is, could you please clarify, is transaction SCMON able to retrieve the custom code usage for the past based on existing information in the system, or is it only able to do this for the future one once it is activated?
It works like this. You turn on the SCMON, and as soon as it turned on, it starts to collect the usage data in the system. So you will get usage statistics after the activation of the SCMON, and it cannot look into the past.
Okay, thank you. The next one, hi Olga. So if you are currently on ECC 6.0, you cannot adopt use code migration app tool.
Yes, for the custom code migration app, you need either S4HANA system, you can just take a sandbox, the first converted system, or if you have access to BTP, Business Technology Platform, you can use ABAP, BTP ABAP environment. And you can start with BTP ABAP environment in free tier model, for example, and use it for free for the time period of 90 days.
Right, thank you for that. The next one, could you elaborate the license requirements for using the custom code migration app in SAP BTP? It was free, but I believe nowadays it requires a full the SAP BTP ABAP runtime license. Am I right?
Yes, the custom code migration app itself is for free, but you need the license for BTP ABAP environment. But as I already said, just now you can start with the free tier model, which is also supported for BTP ABAP environment, and run your first custom code analysis under the free tier option of the BTP ABAP environment.
Okay, thank you very much. The next one, for a customer with only ECC on-premise who is considering migrating to S4HANA, will they have access to the custom code migration app in BTP? How can they request access to this app?
If you are RISE customer, for example, then you will get the in your RISE deal, RISE contract, the CPA credits for BTP, and you can use these credits in order to purchase BTP ABAP environment and use custom code and migration app inside of it.
All right, thank you. The next one is custom code migration app in BTP available as part of the BTP trial offering to evaluate if the app is beneficial before investing into production BTP subscriptions in case a customer does not have BTP yet.
It's also possible to use the custom code migration app as part of the trial for BTP ABAP environment, but I'm not sure if the trial is now provided for BTP ABAP environment at all. If it's provided, then you will just get some read access and very restricted feature scope of the custom code migration app. I would recommend to to evaluate the free tier option of the BTP to try out the custom code migration app.
All right, so the next question is, the SAP S/4HANA Custom Code Migration app seems specially targeting the conversion projects. What about leveraging the app for ongoing custom code management once in SAP S/4HANA, for example, to analyze the system each week utilizing a given ATC check variant? Why not renaming the app to a more generic SAP S/4HANA ABAP custom code management?
Yes, we also provide currently the custom code migration app as part of the Cloud ABAP Test Cockpit solution. Cloud ABAP Test Cockpit is currently available also in BTP ABAP environment, contains a custom code migration app and also other things like scheduling ATC run app or ATC approve exemption app. And this bundle provides cloud ATC, and you can also use the custom code analysis project type inside of the custom code migration app in order to do to execute ABAP Test Cockpit checks on the regular base. And this is, of course, very valid point for the remaining renaming of the custom code migration app to the custom code management or something like this. And we are currently thinking about this, how to provide a more general name for it as well.
All right, thank you. The next, is there an option to remove personal data, like who is responsible for a specific object from the data within the custom code migration app in BTP in case of data privacy concerns related to processing P2 in cloud?
It's not currently possible to remove the personal data, but think about that as custom code migration app executes custom code analysis, it transmits only a certain amount of data for the needed to the analysis, but it doesn't store any personal data or any information about the custom code on the BTP system. So nothing is stored there, nothing remains there besides of the analysis results. So you are on very secure way with the custom code migration app.
Thank you. The next one, with the custom analysis app, find changes that need to adapt it to BDC related programs. Will they need to adapt it for BDC related programs?
I don't know what BTC stands for.
Okay,
Probably
so
need some clarification here.
Okay, we move to the next question, and if the person who stated this question still in the call, please provide the abbreviation. The next one, hi Olga, which system the quick fixes are safe to? ECC development.
The quick fixes must be executed on the S/4HANA system, and the result of the quick fix is the new source code. This is the your adapted custom code objects, which will be saved on this S/4HANA system.
All right, I hope it answers the question. So the next one, for the quick fixes, would these fixes be deployed in the legacy system and pushed to production, or are quick fixes managed in the migration logic and only published during the conversion process?
The quick fixes should be and can be applied only after system conversion, because only then you have the new S/4HANA software and can really adapt your code to the changes in S/4HANA, and therefore this is the activity which must be executed after system conversion.
All right, thank you for that. The next one, is there any chance that ATC check makes wrong suggestions which could lead to dumps? Is it best to check all the proposed fixes one by one?
Actually, from the experience from previous years, we have our support colleagues which do custom code adaptations for many customers using the quick fixes. They are pretty stable and they will not corrupt your code or bring any dumps on the system. So I can only recommend to use the mass-enabled quick fixes. But of course, if you have your doubts, you can start just using them one by one. And after some evaluation phase, probably you can switch to the mass-enabled quick fixes.
All right, thank you. The next one, in app extensibility should be carried in ABAP or Cloud Foundry environment in BTP. As a customer, do I have buy these two environments in BTP?
It depends in which technology you want to implement. So key user extensibility, previous name, in-app extensibility for ABAP related code is provided also directly, can be executed directly also on S4HANA system as well. So you don't need BTP for this.
All right.
If you use BTP ABAP environment, then you are on the side-by-side implementation, and key user is directly on stack.
All right. So the next, does the analysis used in the custom code migration cockpit deliver the same results the S4HANA readiness check does?
I think in some later S4HANA readiness versions, which can be applied between S4HANA upgrades, you will get also connection to the ATC checks, and the same checks are running, but not for all. If you convert the business suite system to S4HANA, you get only the overview on the analysis results in a readiness check, and for the detailed analysis, you must use custom code migration app.
All right, then next. What guidance does SAP provide in distinguishing the difference between customizations and extensibility? If our strategy is keep the core clean, does that mean no customization and no ABAP? What does SAP recommend?
So customizations and extensibilities are two different topics. I'm not expert for the customizations. I cannot provide any opinion on that. With regard to extensibility for the clean core, if you implement in ABAP, you have three guaranteed extensibility options, which will lead you to the clean core. This is key user extensibility, developer extensibility directly on stack, and side-by-side extensibility on business technology platform. And this is recommended for clean code development.
All right, thank you for that. Can we try the app using BTP trial?
I'm not sure. I think it was possible. Need to check it out. It was possible some time ago.
All right. The next one, follow up on the custom code quick fixes in place versus after conversion. Should we migrate critical customization into S4HANA, then simplify while in S4, or remove customization before moving into S4HANA? There are pros and cons to both. The latter runs the risk of breaking the business, impacting our customers negatively. Any thoughts or guidance?
You need to follow up on SAP recommendations for the customizations. I can speak only for the ABAP code. Sorry.
Okay. And this recommendation, they are available, right?
The recommendation are available for the S4HANA conversion project process.
Okay, this is, I can probably recommend to check the session of Boris of last week under the playlist on SAP community. So I think you can then, yeah, get better feedback on your request. So the next one, okay, then at which form quick fixes in S4HANA will exist, the transport, how to move them from S4HANA sandbox into another system.
So you can think about it. Quick fixes are only the agent which is run over your custom code, and as I showed you with two editors before and after the quick fix, you get just your source code adapted. This is the source code objects which is changed, and it will be transported as a normal transportable source code object. This is just adapted source code.
All right. I see that we already over the time, and there are still questions in the Q&A tool. We can continue answering if it's okay.
Yes, let's do
Okay,
it.
yeah, let's continue. So will the custom analysis app identifies changes that need to be adapted for BDC is batch data communication session method called transactions related program. I think it's a follow-up to the question.
So if these programs are ABAP based programs, then for surely then the custom code analysis checks will also capture these programs as well.
Right, thank you for that. The next one, in summary, is it correct to that all SE happens in ECC before conversion and all custom code remediation happens only after conversion in S/4HANA system?
Custom code checks based on simplification database can be executed before conversion, and correct the custom code remediation can be done after the system conversion only.
Okay. Is there a possibility to use custom code migration app before ECC to a HANA migration with RFC connection to a remote S/4HANA system?
So I don't exactly understand the question. If it's meant so that if it's possible to use the custom code migration app to check any ECC system which is even not on HANA database, then it's possible. What does it mean? RFC connection to remote S4HANA system where the custom code migration app is supposed to be run. When it's supposed to be run on the remote S4HANA system and the RFC connection is used to the ACC system, then of course, before migration to HANA database, any ACC system can be checked for S4HANA readiness as well. If I haven't understood your question, then please explain it more in detail.
Yeah, then provide the explanation. We move to the next question. Do we have to still run functional DB and performance DB variants, or running the S4HANA readiness check will cover everything?
S4HANA readiness check will cover everything.
All right. Side-by-side extensibility should be carried in ABAP or Cloud Foundry environment in BTP. As a customer, do I have to buy? No, I think we have answered this question already. Should I use RAP or CAP? Again, abbreviations.
RAP or yes, REST ABAP programming model or cloud ABAP programming model. It depends on your know-how. It depends on your developers. In which technology do you want to develop? For sure, if you have only ABAP based code and you have your domain knowledge in ABAP, then it is recommended to reuse your ABAP skills and develop side by side using ABAP as well. Other way around, if you have CAP domain knowledge, you can use CAP. So it's up to you what to choose. It's a technology question.
All right. The next one is, what could be good candidates for converting custom reports to Fiori app built using RESTful application programming model?
I would recommend to visit ABAP development community. There you will find the dedicated information about RESTful application programming model and also some information about what is recommended, what can be converted to RESTful application programming model.
All right. I just shared the link as I have it open, so I hope so. The last question is, so in summary, is it correct to say that all SE happens in ECC before conversion and all custom code remediation happens only after conversion in S/4HANA system?
I think we have already had this question.
Yeah, it sounds like we had it already.
We had it already. The custom code analysis happens on ECC and custom code adaptation happens in S/4HANA.
Right. Okay, so I hope this is answered now too. There is still this question on RFC connection, but if there is no more clarification, I assume that either the person left the call or there is no further explanation. But as we are already over the time, first of all, thank you, Olga, for your presentation and demo and for answering all these questions with very deep knowledge. Much appreciated. Also, thank you to our audience for being with us and being so active and keeping our session so interactive, and all this reaction with applause and thumbs up, of course, goes mainly to Olga.
Okay, thank you very much also for your attention, and for the future, if you have any specific questions with regard to custom code analysis adaptation, just feel free to drop me an email or contact me via LinkedIn.
Right, excellent. Great offer. Again, the materials of this session will be available under our usual SAP community playlist, SAP community YouTube playlist. So I've already posted the link in the chat. And of course, I will share this link when I will be contacting you for the upcoming session. As the next week, we have one more session there where we actually talk about end of maintenance that is planned and what to do after end of maintenance. With this, tuned up and join our session next week. We will be very happy. With this, I will close this session. And thank you very much and bye-bye.